I'm Ryan from the UK, and I just came over here with the BeTaller crew just to get some femur lengthening surgery. About 3 months ago now, and just concentrating on the physio since I came over then. Well, I extensively researched it online. A lot of the companies that I looked at didn't seem very transparent. They didn't really have previous patients online. They didn't really have interviews with the doctors. I couldn't really see the background on a lot of the doctors, but I could with Dr. Yüksel. I could see how many surgeries he'd completed. I've seen a lot of interviews with him. He seemed to, when he was asked about what certain procedures can be done, he was reluctant to do anything that seemed a little dangerous. So I could see he was very professional about what lengths and what procedures to do. He wouldn't do the quad surgery, which he said he doesn't recommend to do it. So he looked like he really, would be careful about exactly what he'd done, and he had a good background. Plus then when I contacted the BeTaller team, they were so friendly, they were transparent, they came back straight away with information. A lot of the other companies didn't do that. So I decided, even though it was Turkey and it was probably a good language barrier and a distance away, I didn't feel it was going to be an issue just because the language barrier was there. Everyone spoke English and it seemed a lot friendlier. Plus I looked up the hospital that was being used and it seemed very very modern, and they did so many orthopedic different surgeries that are there, so I had a lot of confidence even before I came over. Well, beforehand when I arrived over, I was collected by the assistant and one of the members, which I thought was very nice. I was welcomed by herself when I came over, which is great. So it's very daunting to come over to our country. You don't know what exactly it's going to be like, especially with going to hospitals in general. You're just a patient. You're not really, you don't know what to expect, but it seemed to be such a friendly atmosphere and everything was organised beforehand for me. So in that way it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Mr. Ronner brought me to the hospital. I got to meet Dr. Yüksel beforehand. Everything was so relaxed and friendly. It wasn't just that they were friendly, they seemed to be very knowledgeable on what they were going to do. Asked me did I want any questions. Nothing was rushed. It wasn't just like, okay, you're going to get your surgery done and then you're out the door and to the next person. Everything seemed to be very, like the people involved in the company seemed to be caring exactly what they are doing. They seemed to enjoy their job. When I was told it was going to be painful for the very first night, but it will dissipate after that, which it was. It was painful for the first night. Nothing that would not be manageable, but it literally the next day, it was a lot less. The mobility I had after the surgery was a lot better than I thought. I thought I wouldn't be moving for probably 2 or 3 months. The pin sites and stuff like that, it kind of wears away the pain after something. You don't notice it as much, so I'm probably a bit shocked in how easy it's been. Like I'd consider even getting another surgery now, which I thought this would just be the only surgery I'd get. But no, I definitely wouldn't have feared it half as much. Plus you have the support there, so the whole time, which makes a huge difference. Because when people are more relaxed and they're more knowledgeable in what you're getting done, when you're frightened about complications and stuff like that, it just puts your mind at ease more that any issues that come up or any issues that arise, they're going to sort it out. So, it's a kind of a surgery that you hear horror stories about, but it didn't seem to be with this, exactly what I got done. It was more professional than I expected it to be. I literally online. Again, as I said, a lot of the companies, there was no communication between the two of them. They had no background, as I said. You couldn't see previous patients with them. The team was available, like yourself, 24 hours a day. Even Mr. Honor, 24 hours a day. Any questions you ask him, just happy to answer. I've never been met by any of the team without a smile or anything that hasn't been answered, which I never found even in my home country. I mean, you would not speak to people for days, or you wouldn't even be told about exactly what's happening during your procedures. You would be just, you can hear about it later on, or it was never like that. It was always relaxed. You're always informed and you're always treated in a friendly way. And as I said, it just seems to be a perfect fit for the people that do work with the company. Even straight down to Mr. Yüksel. I mean, he checked on me every day after the surgery. Mr. Arn did, and yourself is there, friendly, where to go shopping, how to get food. I did not think it was going to be like that. I was thinking I'm going to have to just put up with the surgery and the pain, go to Turkey, just sit somewhere and wait and then head back home. But it was nothing like that at all. I didn't mind it at all. The place, even the hotel we stayed in the first night was gorgeous, and then the accommodation after that is lovely as well, which I was really, really surprised with the way it was. Even just from my own country, it doesn't turn out like this. It never turns out like that. You're just a patient or a number, like. Definitely, again, as I say, the communication between them was great. You're not in a rush. You definitely do not feel like just a patient. And it's not enough just people to be friendly. They seem to be very good and knowledgeable about their job. It's a fine line for somebody to have confidence in somebody as a medical profession, and for them just to be friendly. They're calm. Like, I mean, any questions that I had, anything that arose, they're there. It's very relaxed, and it just puts your mind at ease, because you're expecting the worst. And I didn't expect it at all. All my fears from what I was going to get done with the surgery completely left when I knew that I was in safe enough hands that it would be done. Like, because there was nothing that was going to happen, and I wasn't expecting the care that I would get, and that people would treat you as just a patient. It's not like that whatsoever, and it's not fake. I think everyone involved in the company really are proud of themselves, and I think they're proud of the job they do, like yourself. Seem to be a people person. I think that's what you really need to do when you're doing surgery like this, because people are worried. They want to put their mind at ease. It's elected surgery. I think you need those kind of people around you to do that, and it just made it a lot easier. Made it almost nearly more enjoyable and relaxed to get it done. Suggestions wise, it would be, the only thing I would say would be, definitely have to concentrate on what your mobility, and just to expect very bad pain on the first night, and do not let yourself think that that is the way it's going to be completely. I thought it would be like in 70-80% pain for 3 months. It turned out 90% pain the first night, and then after that it just dissipated down to the point where 3 or 4 days later I could sit easily, comfortably, with no pain whatsoever. And then just to keep the mobility in your legs, to push yourself, to make sure that you keep that, and just maybe just make sure that you're gonna. It's not as daunting as you think it's going to be. Like, not to be frightened about things, like, because it's when you're in good hands, it doesn't seem as much. Like, not to be worried about getting surgeries like this, because especially with Dr. Yüksel, I mean, they've done it so many times now. It's second nature to them to do this. Once you get somebody that's decent, there won't be any complications. Fine, yeah, just looking forward to getting the fixators off, just to get maximum movement, concentrating on getting my full mobility back, and then looking forward to doing the next surgery again, which I never expected I would want to do, but now I have no issues at all with getting it done. So, but realistically, I would not get it done again with a different company. I would definitely go back to one of BeTaller, and that's not. I'm not just saying that. I would definitely. I would probably, if I couldn't get it done with one of BeTaller again, I doubt I would get it done again with other people, because I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't know what to expect. Because I've seen a lot of horror stories online, obviously, and at least I know what to expect now exactly, and I know there won't be any issues. Like, and it's the support is there. It means an awful lot, like, to have the support there from everyone on the team. So, 10. There hasn't been any issues, so it'd have to be 10. Exactly. I wasn't expecting anything like this. Like, I've obviously been to hospitals and doctors before in the past. I've never, I mean, you wouldn't even know the nurse's name or the doctor. You wouldn't even meet them. You would never mind getting to know them or feel as though they're there. Like, I mean, from the very beginning, since I contacted the company, somebody's been there, like yourself, 24 hours a day. Do you know? And as I say, genuinely there. Genuinely happy to do the job. Genuinely enjoy the job. And even down to Mr. Yüksel and, Mr. Ronner. I mean, he's always there with a smile on his face. It's very rare you would get to speak to an assistant medically the whole time if you need him to ask him questions. That, I mean, that's unheard of in my country. You would not do that. It would be an email, or it would be a meeting set up a month later. Even going in to do all the pre-examinations inside the hospital, they were all done within a couple of hours. You're collected, you're brought to and from exactly where you need to go. You literally don't have to think. You just need to bring your legs with you, and that's all. Everything else is done for you, which is great.